Bah. Bah. The fuck was that? Is that a goat? I don't know. Something's going on in my household right now. How you doing? It's about 10:30 p.m. on March 16th, 2023. Here's another video for you. This video will be mainly about the underlines. We'll take a quick look at the SPY chart at the end of the video. But again, nothing's changed since the last two videos. It's just been a continuation and a reiteration of what I've already said, as everything is played out to a T essentially this week. So let's get right into it. NVDA, my baby. It's really my favorite ticker right now because the trades are so clean and we've just been nailing it every single time, like every fucking time without fail, using the historical golden ratio roadmap approach. Now, today was a monster day for everything, but NVIDIA went up 5.4% today. It closed up 5.42%, and in pre-market it continued. So let's hop into NVIDIA. Am I pronouncing that correctly? As of after hours close, it sits at $258 even. Just a quick look back on the chart. All this started when I realized there's a giant macro inverse head and shoulders pattern forming with all the important bounces taking place at golden ratio. And I'm like, okay, is it really this simple? Let's find out. So I put out a signal on December 28th of 2022 for a long trade idea for the 23rd of December. As far as entry goes, I gave a signal for 150 strike calls, January 20th expiry. Entry level set in GP at $144.58 to $142.31. So that was the price range for entry. Tight stop loss set just under the local low at 136.97. I'm on the daily, so don't think you can see that here. You cannot. That's okay. And then the take profits were at the 0.786 between the 12.618 extension and the 11.618 extension. That was take profit number one, price point $154.65, which would have brought those 150 straight calls in the money. Take profit two was the 12.618 extension at $171.93. Both of those were hit well before the contracts or contract, whichever, however large your position was. It went well in the money. On Wednesday, January 18th, NVIDIA hit a high of $178.73, exceeding price target number two of the 12.618 extension at $171.93. Now this signal was given because I was anticipating the right shoulder to actually play out and form off this golden pocket between the 12 and the 11, which we did see. Those contracts went in the money very early. Take profit one at $154.65 was met on Monday, January 9th, 11 days before the expiry. So that's when I was like, this could be big. This could continue to like $280, $250, $280. Shout out Ant Macon on Twitter, Money Making Greg, for remembering that. If you were in the server back in January, You remember when I started talking about this forming, and I was like, fuck it, give us the 13.618. Price target $282.04. Now, it blows my mind to look back and look at this chart and see how clean it is, because bearish sentiment was at like an all-time high, and everyone thought the world was ending, and I'm just looking at this fucking chart like, no, things are gonna rip against all odds. So yeah, once we met the 12.618 extension at $171.93, we did have a pullback. We pulled back below it, but I did believe in this analysis, and I thought we would regain it, eventually break over the neckline, which you see here, and then continue up to the higher ranges between the 13.618 and the 12.618. We certainly did. Certainly did. On February 10th, 2023, at about 3 p.m., I signaled for NVDA 230 strike calls off this pullback here. This bounce off the 0.382 between the 13.618 and 12.618 extensions, price point 20771. Bounced perfectly off that towards the end of the day, and I said, fuck it, let's get back into those 230s for another trip to GP. Price points 237.18 down to 233.45. Those went in the money. When did they go in the money? Let's see, 230. Those went in the money on February 24th. No, those went in the money on February 14th. So we got that bounce, right? That's where we bought, and we sold one of the two contracts that we bought on February 14th. So we entered on Thursday the 9th, exited on the 14th with 10 days to the expiry date. So on the 14th, that's this big dick green candle here on the daily. We hit a high of $230.49, just shy of that golden pocket, about $3 off. So I cut one contract, left the runner, and when did I sell the runner? The runner was sold. The runner went up 100% on February 14th too, after I sold the first one. Crazy. Yeah, you get the gist of it. You've been following me long enough. I don't have to go back and fucking say everything again. Just look at my Twitter feed if you're that interested. Most recently, on March 2nd, I signaled for 250 strike calls with the expiry of March 31st, with an ambitious price target of $282.04, the 13.618 extension. How the hell did I hold that all the way through this? All the way through the bank failures? Well, they were probably actually at risk of failing. But how did I hold it through all that? How did I stay convicted in this play, in this continuation? How did I see this playing out back in January? Because of Fibonacci, all right? Because of the golden ratio. So all this panic actually turned into a double bottom, a re-entry of that golden pocket, this entry range between 237.18 and 233.45. And that we re-entered that Tuesday of this week. I knew it was game time. Even though the Bobos were fucking flocking, kid. We ripped out of there today. Alright. NVIDIA just rocketed to the 0.786 above at 253.69. Exceeded it, continued in after hours, and now it sits at $258 even heading into tomorrow. It's March 16th. We have how many days? I'm fucking exhausted again, by the way. We have some time to March 31st still. I sold that contract today that was entered on March 2nd. It was down like 70% at one point. Held it. I sold that today for 97%, I believe. So if you were in that and you stayed in it, congratulations. You went up 100%. Now, this isn't on the chart, but I think last week, or I think it was last week, if I'm correct, we had some 200 to 300 percenters on NVIDIA. And that was just based on a re-entry of Golden Pocket, where this double bottom formed here. We had a mean bleed early in the morning on it, on SPY, and the underlines. NVIDIA dipped as well, but it was holding the uptrend. So I entered 230s, signal for those on Twitter and the Discord. A few people took the trade. One person went up 300%. Congratulations. That's NVIDIA. If you need me to give you a target at this point in the video, you haven't been listening. So rewind. Target one was hit at 253.69. That was the target given on this entry. Back on the 2nd. Target 2 was also given back on the 2nd of 282.04, the 13.618 extension, and that would complete the inverse head and shoulders. Well, not complete it, but I guess confirm it in a way. I would expect a continuation to higher levels. You know, the levels between the 14.618 and 13.618 extension, because an inverse head and shoulders usually results in a continuation. And the start of this was off the 13.618 extension, 282.04, back on Tuesday, March 29th of 2022. So it took a year for this to form, essentially. Wow. Actually, that's crazy to think about. March 29th, 2022. Wow. That's coming up. A year anniversary is coming up of when this formation started playing out. So essentially it took a year for this pattern to form, and will we see a continuation? We'll assess the situation once we reach 282.04. It should, if the inverse head and shoulders does result in a continuation. We'll play it by ear. I'm going to be looking for another entry because I sold that 250 today. I'm going to be entering 280s for maybe early April, just because I want to buy a little bit extra time. I would feel comfortable entering end of month 280s. We'll see what I do. I'll let you guys know. I promise. Let's hop over to Meta real quick. Meta. Let's see when I tweeted it was a sleeping giant. Let's pull that up on the chart. Let's get rid of this fucking advertisement. Meta is a sleeping giant on March 2nd. So same day I signaled for these 250s on NVIDIA. Meta is a sleeping giant. We were bouncing off the 0.786 between the 2 and the 1.618 extensions. That was my entry level. I entered this a bunch of times, but just got theta burned. I was expecting the move to occur faster than it did, but that did not happen. We finally got a nice move off of this level at 168.80 on March 2nd, and it continued into Friday of that week. So yeah, Meta was a sleeping giant. Target was hit. I signaled for 200 strike calls. When did I do that? Let me look. Let me look. So the meta play was signaled on March 6th. March 6th being this top here. So you can imagine those contracts were red for 1, 2, 3, 4. They were red until today, essentially. Price target was hit, 206.48, and price target was exceeded. Meta, see what Meta did at close. This is my first look at the charts. Meta currently sits, oh wait, no, price target was not hit. It was just shy at close. Closing price was 204.93. So close but no cigar. Currently sitting at 202.77 as of after hours close heading into tomorrow. Continuation. Maybe a little pullback, seeing that we didn't actually touch that 206.48 price level. But honestly, it's sitting at support. It built support in after hours at 202.75. Again, Meta closed after hours at 202.77, so 2 cents higher than the support that it was creating. I think this thing's going to move. So what I'm going to do is move my target to 257.86. We'll fill that gap. Should we do that? We're not going to give a new target on Meta yet because we've been doing so well with these March calls. We're going to let everything play out and see where we're at the end of the month before we drop some new sauce. Obviously, if things speed up, targets will be given prior to the end of March. But let's just enjoy what we got going on right now. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Because calling for another, I mean, we called for a 20%, 21% move. We nailed it. Calling for another 25-ish% move right now is a little too ambitious for my liking. And I'd like to be a bear at some point for a few days or a week and drop some put sauce for you guys. But yeah, that's Meta, looking beautiful. We'll go back to the candles really quickly and just take a closer look. Beautiful rip out of golden pocket between the 2 and the 1 back on Wednesday, February 1st. Support found at the 0.786. On Thursday, February 2nd, you came just shy of that price target of 206.48. You were about 5% shy of that on that rippy. But everything's looking good on Meta. Microsoft, that's another one where I got caught in this chop here. I was expecting a move a lot sooner on Microsoft. My entry level for 260s was 248.88. The 0.382 between the 2.618 and 1.618. I think I entered 260s here on this daily candle when we broke below the entry level and regained it back on March 2nd. I think that's when I entered that. I think I actually entered on the 28th of February, and I kind of got mad at myself for entering so prematurely because we went down quite a bit. Off my entry, Microsoft fell 3%. Quickly regained it, but it wasn't really moving to my liking. My contracts remained red for like 80% for quite a while. There was one day, actually this recovery here, I think they were up 5%, and I sold them because I just wasn't seeing it continue. Sold them around here. We did see another pullback, and yeah, the game plan again, entry level 24888, golden pocket target, and of course target number 2 being the 2.618 extension at $284.84. You are breaking out above resistance right now. I'm on the 4 hour. You broke out above resistance. As you can see, this was resistance. That's the 0.786 between the 2 and the 1.618 extensions. Price point 27239. Looking fucking excellent. Looking excellent. The official signal on Microsoft was made on March 6th. So actually all these entries were made on March 6th. Called for 200 strike calls for March 31st. All these entries have the same expiry. Price target 20648. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? No, that's Meta. Bear with me. Where's Microsoft? There it is. 260 strike calls for March 31st. Price target 264.48 to 262.62. Obviously, we fucking nailed that. We hit that today, and we blasted off. We hit it yesterday. We hit that target yesterday, and just took off. Microsoft, looking good, guys. Looking good. Apple. Did I give a signal for Apple on March 6th? Yes, we did. March 6th, Apple, 165 strike calls, 331. Price target 164.83. After March 6th, we also nailed some 155s. As you can see here, target, if you remember, the entry was golden pocket, as I was expecting a quick recovery to this GP between $149.47 and $148.14. We certainly got that. This was another inverse head and shoulders play on the macro. Coming off of this call to $124.64 on August 28th, 2022. We eventually hit that price target on Tuesday, the 3rd of January 2023. Near perfect bounce. Doesn't get much more accurate than that. And again, another inverse head and shoulders forming. The right shoulder is in, guys. The right shoulder's in. You just got to break over this neckline at about $157.37, and you're booming to the target given on March 6th of $164.83. Apple's looking great. You're above this resistance here at $155.26, so I'm expecting strong continuation on Apple as well. So we've covered Microsoft, Meta, Apple, NVDA, and we'll take a look at Tesla. I'm curious to see if the Tesla call was hit. Tesla, I didn't put out a target for Tesla on March 6th, but the entry level, again, golden pocket between the 7.618 and 6.618 extensions. Price points 171.87 to 168.02. This was off a recovery of the macro head and shoulders formation. Peak of the left shoulder occurring in January of 21. Peak of the head occurring in November. And peak of the right shoulder occurring Monday the 19th, back in September of 2022. Big downtrend, caught support at the golden ratio extension, and then you fell and continued down to golden pocket here, bounced up, retested resistance at $189.25, rejected, and that's when I called for a downside target on December 1st of 2022 for 108.46, the 6.618 extension. Doesn't get much closer than that, guys. Everyone was expecting Tesla to continue down to like $50, maybe $70. Wasn't happening. We're getting that strong bounce, and this is another inverse head and shoulders forming. So I'll just draw that out real quick. We'll go off the 7.618 extension at $220.22. I did give a target for Tesla in March of $220.22, which coincides with Morgan Stanley's price target for 2023. I think it's going to go a bit higher. I think they're being modest. So you have this left shoulder forming off the 7.618 downtrend to golden pocket between the 7 and the 6.618. You have the head forming perfectly off the 6.618, and then the neckline is pointed up. Right shoulder forming back at the same golden pocket, our familiar entry level, and you're starting to get that bounce headed up to the target of $220.22. So target 1 was hit, $189.25 on Tesla. Today, Tesla came just shy of it at $184.13 actually. As of after hours close, it sits at $183.86 heading into Friday, tomorrow. We'll drop down to a smaller time frame. Start at the 4 hour. We'll look at MACD on Tesla really quickly. I need to hit the snooze, but yeah, we'll make this quick. So on the 4 hour, you had strong bullish signal on MACD crossing the signal line on Monday, March 13th. And it's kind of just continued. You did have that retracement here, but it caught support. Now this line here is the monthly anchored VWAP for March, price point 184.56. Then you have the standard deviation to the downside at $175.30. So you built support up there. You've remained above it. You got as low as $176.05 on Wednesday, March 15th, and then you continued upward. Retested that monthly anchor VWAP at $184.56 on today, March 16th, and you're ejecting off that. But this 4 hour looks like it's going to continue. As you can see here, this 4 hour closed above the 4 hour candle on March 14th. So that's pretty bullish in my opinion. I think you're going to have a volume event once again tomorrow on Tesla and continue to the target at 189.25. So we'll maintain that target, and then we're also going to maintain that target for March of $220.22, which would be roughly a 20% move. Will it happen in March? I don't fucking know. I'm less confident in that happening in March at this point on Tesla, but there is time. You know, you got, what, 15 days? So we'll see what happens. Don't shoot me if it doesn't. But yeah, that's Tesla. We'll look at the daily price action on the 1 minute real quick. So you just rode VWAP, monthly anchored VWAP, all day long into the open. Past Yellen, right? You had that pump around 10 a.m. and then I heard Yellen was getting badgered or something. Chopped it up, building higher lows, and then finally you took off. You were headed to the races around 11 a.m. on Tesla. I'm sure with the rest of the market, everything occurred at the same time. I'm not really going to look at the micros, the micro time frames on everything. I got to make this a quick video, and we're already at the 30-minute mark. So that's probably going to be it. We'll take a quick look at SPY. I do want to talk about SPY. So the target for March, pay no attention to these targets. I just fucking had to rewrite them. The target for today was 39424. Fucking nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him. Again, watch my video from yesterday and the last video before that. Get the full picture of this entire trading week and how we're just nailing these calls to the T. You broke over 39424, but if you recall from my last video, I set a target of 398.84 for Friday in last night's video. I said it was potentially going to happen today, but not probable. So I suggested restructuring your position on a pullback. After taking profit at 39424, that was a strict profit taking level that I was signaling for. You broke above it. You hit a high above 39424. You hit 396-ish, low 396s before you ended up pulling back and bouncing off 39424 at about 230. And then you started ripping again. Into close, you did have a bit of a sell-off in after hours. You exceeded that high of low 396s, which occurred at about 1 p.m. You had a high of 39658, it looks like, something around there, before some profit taking, some selling was going on in the after hours. As of right now, SPY sits at an after hours close heading into tomorrow of $396.01. So the range for Friday given yesterday was 39884, target 2 here, up to 40169. The 30-minute looks excellent. Look at this fucking candle setup here. This is gonna end up being a rippy. Another rippy day for Friday, March 17th, 2023. Main price target 39884 for Friday, as described last night. Target 2 is 40169. So this is your range for tomorrow, between $398.84 and $401.69 for upside movement. Basically the wicks from last Thursday, March 9th, before we started selling off on that awful Friday. That's the SPY, guys. That's everything. And I guess I should look at AMC. I haven't looked at it since Monday. Oh look, we broke below the downside target, golden pocket, $5.20 to $4.83. Now, if you remember, I was very bearish on AMC heading into earnings. I had this being a head and shoulders. I'll redraw that really quickly. I had this drawn out heading into earnings. Left shoulder, golden pocket bounce, head, break below golden pocket, resulting in a recovery and a fucking boom boom. This was the right shoulder that I was proposing, and then I had this going down, creating a lower low to target number 2, $2.81. That didn't play out. You got an earnings rip for probably the first time in AMC's history. Don't quote me. My memory's not that good. Maybe it's happened in the past, but usually we get fucked on earnings with AMC. You hit resistance at 852, and it was all she wrote. Now this, I would draw a head and shoulders here too. Right, so left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now we're going, right? So this was the bounce zone, if it were gonna happen. I think in my Monday video I talked about AMC, gave a bull case and a bear case. Bull case was catching support here at this golden pocket, which on the 30-minute, on the 14th on Tuesday, he actually bounced off it initially, but still failed it. You didn't test these highs up here. You rejected pretty low here. Support from Friday, March 10th became resistance on Tuesday, March 14th, and then you just fucking plummeted. Oh my god, I haven't even seen this yet. You plummeted below the bull case levels. So now I'm full bear mode, guys. AMC, my target, primary target is $2.81. Pretty confident that's where we're heading. We'll look at the macro time frame again and see why that level would be significant. Other than it being the Fibonacci level, macro Fibonacci 0.382, you can see here this was resistance back in November of 2020, right? So when we were making this massive George W before we squoze in January for the first time, you ran into a bit of resistance here. So I'm not saying AMC is going to zero. I'm saying AMC is going to rip faces off of 281. I said when I was proposing the head and shoulders for earnings, I said I'd be buying a shit ton of shares at 281, and I'd be buying calls at 281. That is my plan, to buy calls at 281, this downside target. And I do think that's where we're going. You have RSI not even oversold yet. Very strong bearish signal on MACD with that signal line cross occurring on Tuesday, March 7th. So if you see here where this line lines up, signal line cross on MACD, it's a very strong cross. It's pointed like straight to hell. Very bearish signal. That coincided with RSI falling below the RSI's 200 SMA on the daily. So it was clear as day. No one should be mad. Everyone could download TradingView for free and use the same indicators. So it was pretty evident that this was going to occur eventually. Now it's playing out. So going to maintain that $2.81 target on AMC. You can be mad about it all you want. Just know I'm buying down here. I'm going to have some moolah to spend. Pretty big chunk of change, actually. I'll be sitting on by then, unless it happens like tomorrow. Don't expect that to happen. Maybe it fucking does. I don't know. AMC is a wild girl. So that's my analysis on AMC. Quick look at futures. Futures is currently red, 0.07%, just a sliver red. Coming off a massive day on ES1, obviously. I think you're going to rip back above futures 083.618 extension at $3,998 even. I think you're set to explode over that once again. When did that occur last? I'm on the 30-minute. Gotta go to the daily. Oh. Here it is. Fute's looking sexy. Set to rip above its 083.618 extension at 3998 even. March 3rd, 2023 at 3:49 in the morning. Right here. Now we'll go to the 30-minute. See what that looked like. As you can see here, shortly after I tweeted that, futures decided to rip above the 083.618 at 3998 in magnificent fashion. Oh, I gotta go to bed. Yeah, hit resistance at 405.750. Retraced. Sort of found support at 3998. It really wasn't support. You kept chopping it up below it. Finally got one more push above it, and then the banks failed on Thursday, March 9th. Everyone panicked. The sky was falling, but it didn't actually fall. They pulled a fast one on you guys. Turn off the tubes. You trade in and analyze them like the tubes. I see all of it. I don't say anything, but sometimes I want to. We all have to do better. We all have to get out of this I want to be right mentality. We all want to be right, but you have to accept that the market doesn't care if you personally are right or wrong. The market's going to do what it does, and you have to adapt to the market environment no matter what it's giving you, and trade what's in front of you. And I think some people aren't trading what's in front of them. I think they're letting their biases and the information that might be influencing them get the better of them. So let's all be more consistent, shall we? Because we got people following us, may or may not be using our not financial advice to enter trades. So I would put being a better analyst above being a better trader if you are active in the Twitter sphere and you're sharing technical analysis. Not that it's your responsibility to be accurate for other people. The goal is to make money for yourself. But if you want to be in the limelight and be recognized as a good trader and a good technical analyst, you have to recognize where you're wrong, and correct yourself. That's my spiel for the end of the video. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be at work. Be popping in Discord around 8:45, maybe a little bit earlier. If anything changes, again, if I look at pre-market or I see early day price action and things aren't looking like we're going to hit those targets on SPY, I will certainly update that for you and do the best I can from work to give you my best guess as to what's going on. But strong conviction that we continue forward and move to these targets to close out the week. That's all I got for you. Thank you.